Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. We have a great lineup today, but before I introduce our guest, I want to invite you guys to go over to YouTube and follow us at Superbrand Publishing. You can see all of these Promote, Profit, Publish podcasts. You can see the videos over there, see these people in person. They are real people. I don't make them up. I don't use voices. Also, don't forget to go over and take our Promote, Profit, Publish quiz. Find out where your skill set lies and if you're ready for your entrepreneurial and author journey. So today's guest is Nina Froriep. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
I need coaching on names. And she is she enables mission-driven entrepreneurs to grow their businesses with consistent and easy to implement video marketing through one-on-one coaching and peer learning. She's been a filmmaker, a producer, and a director for over 30 years, and a small business owner for 23 of that. So when I say that, understand she's seen the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that. She's seen it all from the early days of independent features to big national TV commercials, corporate mega shows, and many documentary films, including one she wrote, directed, and produced about Muslim kids in New York called Abraham's Children. In short, there's no film or video production scenario she has not taken care of. So she's perfect in this digital and video world we're living in. She's worked with stars like Sophia Loren, John Malkovich, and Wynton Marsalis. Is it Marsalis or Marseille?
Marsalis, yeah.
Marsalis, okay. I wanted to make it French. She's interviewed Fortune 500 CEOs and worked on Emmy award-winning and Emmy-nominated documentaries and produced hundreds of videos for Uber corporate shows. I'm not even going to read the rest of this because she's done so much. So welcome, Nina. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks, Juliet.
So you and I were discussing earlier, I'm going to go right to this. Childhood, tell us about what you did when you were a kid, because I was relating to you that I sort of wrote these wonky stories when I was a kid, and look what I do today.
There you go. Well, not much different. So I think at age 7-ish, it must have been, because that's when I learned to write in school. I wrote a book about, and I illustrated it myself as well, about a princess in distress. It did feature a prince and a horse, and I don't know what the evil part was anymore, probably dragon of some sort. And I published it. I actually had my father had a photocopier in his office. I think there was an edition of 10. Which was supplemented with a parental grant. And then I sold them, 50 cents, which back then was a fortune for me, a pop. And unfortunately, it's out of print, and it remains out of print to this day. But that was sort of, at age 7, there was the entrepreneur, there was the writer, there was the visual storyteller, was definitely knocking on the door and saying, "Hi, here I am."
There you go. So if you're one of the people out there with a Nina Froriep original first edition, it may be worth $1 now.
Well, that would be a 200% increase. Why not?
There you go. So you primarily work with people who are entrepreneurs now.
Yes.
Who are having to use video on the internet. And I think pretty much everybody has to these days. So can you talk a little bit about why this has become so important?
Well, I would say that if you don't get how important it is after the COVID crisis that we have gone through, and I shouldn't even use past tense because we're still smack in the middle of it worldwide, then then I don't know what to tell you about video. It is the medium now. Most of us, if we're not on video on our social media feeds, we are on Zoom all day, which is no more or less than video, which is what we're doing right now, and we're recording it, and it'll be a video. What video really does better than any other medium, and why I focus on service-based entrepreneurs that have a mission, is it conveys a layer of emotion that your average writer would not, if you're Shakespeare or Goethe or somebody like that, fine, sure. But for the regular everyday writer, you cannot get across all that subtext that can come across with video, for better and for worse, by the way, not just for good. It can also, you can also send messages that you might not have wanted to. But it does allow you to create a connection with the people that you want to attract into your business. And in the end, people don't work with a service or a product, people work with other people. And that is why I always say video is so important, because it's a very quick and easy way, and not technically complicated at all. That's where I come in to make sure that you don't get tied up in a bunch over the technical aspects of it, because I won't let you. So it's just really a great way to establish an immediate connection with somebody, where somebody can say like, oh, I like this person, I want to work with them. Or it can also be like, not my style, let's move on. And that'll save you a lot of heartache and finding out the wrong way or the hard way that this person was not the right client for you.
That is so true. And not even that they weren't the right client for you, but maybe you're not the person for them as
Yeah,
well.
of
So,
course.
we talk about that a lot inside of our programs, how
Mhm.
empowered you become when you can take an enrollment conversation and decide that that person's not for you, instead of
Mhm.
taking everyone that comes along. So that is amazing. So you guys are probably trying to figure out, well, I'm an author. How does this fit in? Why do I need video? I write.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of the quizzes we do, we encourage you to have that video on the front to introduce it.
Yeah.
If you're doing a book funnel, one of the free shipping book funnels, people want to see you, they want to
Mhm.
know you, you can't
Yeah.
hide and become that invisible author. So
Mhm.
for people like that, because I know you and I talked about this before, where I have the problem with my authors that are, I want to be famous but I don't want anybody to know me or see me.
Yeah. That's it's tough. Yeah.
How do they get comfortable doing it, like opening it up and just doing a short or even a longer video
I
on
mean, you just said it, just doing it. So for me, the most important thing is for people to just jump into it and start recording themselves, even if they just do it for themselves, but doing it. And anybody with a smartphone in their back pocket, which I think is pretty much everybody these days, the cameras that are built into these iPhones or Androids are phenomenal, and that's all you really need. And the microphones are phenomenal. So people who work with me, the only thing I tell them to go and buy is a tripod. Everything else, maybe down the road, but certainly not in the beginning. So for me, it's all about doing, and only by doing can you get over the discomfort of it. You can play with it. You can see whether, how much is it awkward? How much can you make friends with it? Get over your voice, get over yourself. I mean, I remember, I had an entire career behind the camera. And if anybody would have told me only 5 years ago that I was going to be as much in front of the camera as I am now, I would have laughed them out of the room. And the first time I recorded myself to promote my own business, 5 years ago ish, I was mortified. I mean, I ran to the next beauty parlor and booked a 10 session thing of booklet of facials. And I'd never had a facial in my life before,
Wow.
because it was so intimidating. But, you do it for a couple of times, you do it for a couple of weeks or months. And now it's like, yeah, sure. I wish I was a little, 20 years younger and better looking, but who cares? People don't listen to me because of that. They listen to me because I have something to share and to say and to teach and to give them, aha moment, or give them an impetus to start with video. They don't care whether I have wrinkles or not, or I have gray hair or not. It just doesn't matter. It just really does not matter.
That is so true. And here's the other thing I think, and please, if you validate or invalidate this, everybody goes out and well, not everybody. It used to be that people would go out and they do these very scripted, makeup, hair productions, and people
Mhm.
don't want to see that anymore. It's not real.
Yeah, I caution clients who overproduce their stuff or put on too much makeup against it, because it kind of comes at the expense of authenticity. Uh, and then again, having said that, I mean, there's a lovely woman who is in my orbit. She's a former TV anchor, And when she does her videos, she's in full makeup and hair, but that is her persona and it works. You
Mm.
know, I think for her to show up all of a sudden without makeup and anything, people would be like, whoa, what's that? Right. But for the rest of us, you know, I mean, you want to be pleasing look, you want to look, you know, cleaned up, right? But I mean, I personally don't bother with makeup anymore. I'm wearing glasses, so you're not going to see whether I wear eye makeup or not anyway, between the glare of the computer screen and the glasses themselves. And yeah, I'm going to make sure my hair is combed and I'm wearing a fresh shirt and I'm not looking like a complete slob. But it's again, it's the content that I'm giving. It's my personality that comes through. It's my smile. Whatever it is that attracts people into my, you know, my orbit or my group of what I have to share. Again, it's not because I'm not wearing or not wearing makeup. And I even went as far as to start a video series called the Naked video series, where the only thing naked is the video, not me.
Oh.
And by that, I mean, you know, the video has no graphics. I do lower thirds because those are important, like not lower thirds, closed captioning.
Uh-huh.
But I don't bother with graphics. I don't bother myself with makeup just because, again, it's supposed to be a quick and easy way to get to video on a consistent basis, on a daily basis in my case. And so, you know, and the Naked video series does as well as my highly produced and polished videos. When I look at the statistics on LinkedIn, which is where I am for the most part, there is absolutely no difference. I see difference in content, in value of the content I'm giving, but not in terms of how polished or unpolished I come across.
Interesting. So you guys, she did put makeup, not just lipstick on
Yeah, of
before we
course. No,
got
I
here.
mean, I'm not
Yes.
saying don't put makeup on, but I'm just saying you don't have to go through a 2 hour, you know, torture with
Right.
a makeup person or, you know, and again, some people actually enjoy and it puts them in the mood and it gets them there. And, you know, I think everybody is very, very different. For me, it's a matter of practicality. I shoot video on a near daily basis. I'm not a big makeup fan, so I don't. But again, everybody is very, very different. So if that is what gets you into the mood for doing some video and talking to your audience, by all means do. But it's not a must.
I,
I think.
yeah, I agree. Because I think your audience is looking for that trust factor. So they want
Yeah.
to know you. So I
Yeah.
know I've opened up and I've done gym clothes. Like I've
Yeah.
done Facebook Lives first thing in the morning, you know, just back from a workout. But I think more than anything, people want to know you and they want to know that you do the things that you're telling them to do
Yeah.
instead of, if that made sense, you're just not oh, try this
Yeah.
in a very
No,
stiff
and
way.
I think, you know, it's also I always say, like, if you want to create interesting content and want to do it consistently, so because, and this is one thing I always like drive home very clearly, is only with consistent video you can actually see whether you're getting a return on investment or not. If you don't do video
Mhm.
consistently, it's very hard to get to real numbers on social media. And if you want to do consistently, and you should be doing it consistently, you want to be yourself, because it's really hard to be some fake personality every day in and out with consistent video. So the way to maintain your persona is just to be your freaking self, because then you don't have to fake it ever or be in the mood or whatever, you know. That's just you on camera. So it's much easier to keep up authenticity than it is to keep up anything halfway fake or full fake or whatever it is.
Right. So if you've ever been on a dating site, you know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah,
'Cause-
and you know, I do compare it to that. It's like you don't want people to show up on a Zoom with you and go like, "Whoa, is that the person that, you know, I saw on the video? Is this the person is this the headshot that I saw on LinkedIn?" I mean, you want to be somewhere in the neighborhood of your current state of being, you know, and not like go on a date with somebody who looks 30 years older than their picture did online.
Right. Now, I remember many years ago when I was in real estate, there was
Mhm.
this person that was very well known. And when I showed up at her office with a contract and met her, I was like, whoa. when was the last time you took a headshot 20 years
Yeah.
ago? You don't want to be that person online
No,
either.
no.
So let's talk a little bit about consistency, because what you said about consistency really goes into analytics. And if you
Yeah.
want to know if your social media is working and if you're getting ROI from what you're doing, you have to be able to not only be there consistently, but look at those analytics consistently.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always say, like, in terms of video marketing, analytics is a whole different field, and I don't get too involved in it. Having said that, I've gotten really quite deep into the analytics of LinkedIn, because that's where I do all my posting.
Mhm.
And thanks to a LinkedIn coach that I have, I also have this amazing software where I can actually see my statistics. And it's just really fascinating once you get into it to see how different posts perform, and how the engagement is. And what I learned very quickly, there are vanity metrics, and there are the metrics that actually matter.
Yes.
And with LinkedIn, for instance, is if you post a regular post just with the written word, you might get a viewership of, let's say, 1,000. The exact same post with a video might only get a viewership of, let's say, 240, 300. So the conventional wisdom would be like, oh, shoot, video doesn't work on LinkedIn. However, the algorithm on LinkedIn just handles video very differently from a written post. So you actually have to watch. A written post counts as being seen if people just scroll past it quickly.
Mhm.
With a video, they actually have to stop and watch it for at least 3 seconds before it counts. So that is the metric why your video metrics are so much lower than your view metrics. But it's a vanity metric, because if somebody just scrolls by your post, in an awful rush, they're not going to have seen anything anyway, probably less, not even seen your name. Where I look at is engagement. So, and when I started doing video every day on LinkedIn, or at least 3 times a week, my engagement quadrupled. I'm like, that's the number I'm excited about. If
Mhm.
I'm getting 40 comments instead of 10 comments, that is something I can work with. These are people I can now engage with. I can further the conversation. I can ask them about their video experience, and I can bring value to them, and hopefully engage them eventually down the road in a sales call. So that is the metric I will look at. And and LinkedIn is probably the last of the social media platforms where you still can get organic traffic like that and get your clients organically,
Yeah.
which is one of, well, not the only reason, but one of the many reasons why I love LinkedIn so much.
Yeah, I love it because it's the only one that hasn't gone toxic on all of us.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, yeah, I agree. It's still it's still a good place to hang out in. But you want to be B2B, you want to be service oriented. The moment you're visual, you should be on Instagram or Facebook. If you're more B2C, then you're definitely on Facebook. So it's not just like, whatever has the coolest interface, whatever. It really is, by industry. There are just certain platforms that perform better for that industry than others.
Which means that you have to learn the one where your clients are at, because that's one of the biggest things I see when people come into our coaching programs is
Yeah.
they're using the one they're comfortable with,
Yeah.
and not the one where their clients or potential clients are actually at. So it may
Mm-hmm.
require you learning some new skills. Now, interestingly enough, I actually use video when my reach out in Messenger too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think you and I had discussed our LinkedIn strategies, and I have a software where I introduce myself when I present an invite. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a 1-minute video because you can't make it very long. But again, people get to see my energy,
Yep.
see who I am. And I think that's one of the most important things about video is that people get to see your energy in
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Your
So
personality, your energy, just your. I think just seeing the face and the expressions. I think, we're very adept at liking, disliking, being connected or not connected. And in also, I think there's also sort of this Are you drawn to somebody who's super, authoritative and even a little threatening? Are you more feeling more comfortable with somebody who feels just like you and you feel like you could be best friends with them? I mean, we all have sort of our preferences, and they come across immediately on video, and it just makes it that much easier. And I use this software called Dub, where it's embedded in my browser, and I can and in my LinkedIn app, and I can just leave messages for people, give them feedback. I don't do it for all the invitations, but I certainly use it a lot to prospects where I feel there could be something there and I want to make a bit more of an impression. So I'll send them a personalized video.
Oh, that makes sense. I actually use it for pod swaps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so I want them to be able to see me on video. Like, am I appropriate fodder for your show?
Perfect.
Because as part of pod swaps, I found a lot of people who aren't perfect pot fodder for my show.
Okay.
So I wish they'd had a video where I could have seen, their demeanor and how they show up. So that's but that's what people are evaluating as well. So I have a really tough question for you. How do you, when you're recording yourself, get rid of that inner critic that says, oh my God, I got to do that again? And all of a sudden this 30-second thing has just turned into like 2 hours.
How? That's an excellent question. So I think there's different critics, right? So there's my visual critic. My visual critic is concerned with the framing, my eye line, and the lighting. I do not allow my visual critic to say, you're 55, you're heavier than you ever been before, and I hate the way you look. That discussion just does not take place. It's just not allowed.
Good.
Period. And that comes with practice. The other critic is my content critic. And that one, if it has to be 25 takes, it will be 25 takes.
Okay.
And with the videos that I do, the social media videos I do, I really want to get them in one take, because the pain of editing these videos that I do so often is it takes too much time to edit. So I really want to make sure that I spend the time. It's more time efficient to spend the time to get the shoot right than it is to fix it in the edit after.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go as many times as I have to until I have a clean take. But if I go off on a little tangent or I ramble a bit, and if it's doesn't go over 2.5 minutes, I will allow myself that. Because I think I'm probably a little more critical about being short and succinct than other people are, because I know myself. I don't need to see myself being charming. I've got that all day long. Thank you very much. So, but then there's like, I have videos that are going, I have a brand new website. I have 2 videos that I had to reshoot, and they're still in editing. They're not done yet. And one video was a little longer. It was sort of the backstory. I couldn't get through it. I just could not get through it in one take. So I broke it up into 4 sections and shot it in 4 sections. Now we'll edit. But that to me is different, because it's a one-time video that goes on my website. It'll be seen many more times. Mm-hmm. For me, the videos that go on social media, I call them tissue videos. Sneeze, throw out, sneeze, throw out. I mean, those are just videos that don't really have much of a shelf life. I mean, yeah, I'll put them on YouTube and put them into playlists, but essentially these videos get watched on that one day I post them. Maybe my social media maven, she will reuse them for Facebook and Instagram at a later date. But these are not videos that are meant to be legacy fodder. These are just, as I said, tissue videos. Mm-hmm. So content, I will definitely be pretty tough on myself. Visually, I mean, yes, I want a nice framing, enough space for the closed captioning, close to the top of the frame, some space here, a little off center if possible. But other than that, which I'm not right now, I'm just seeing I should move over here a little bit. There we go. You can't be too critical with yourself, because you just get into an unhealthy space.
It is. And you guys, take a look at her background here. I hope you don't mind if I point that out. She and I talked about this earlier. This is a home that's been in her family for 450 years.
Yeah.
That is just so incredible. But when she says her background there, look at how intricate and beautiful that
It's
that
beautiful.
work is.
It's pine wood. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And it darkens over the years. I just had something fixed, and I had a brand new piece of pine wood, and I was like, whoa, because it's nearly white. And only
Oh.
now, a year later, it already has gotten so much darker. But it'll take a couple of decades to catch up to the old wood.
Oh wow. Can you stain it to match, or is it that just wouldn't be cool?
It goes dark so fast that it's, in a way, I would think it would be a pity. I would rather let the wood do its own thing, and not stain it. But yes, I'm sure you could.
So tell us, what do you have coming up that you'd like to share? And do you have anything you'd like to point us to find out more about you?
Well, I mean, so to find out more, there's two great places to go. One is my spanking brand new website as of last week. So if you find any broken links, please let me know. I think I have them all. I caught them all, but you never know.
I know.
So that's my company name, Clockwise Productions, like counterclockwise. And otherwise, I live on Facebook. What am I saying? I live on LinkedIn. So if you can spell my last name, you'll find me there. I'm the only Nina Froriep, and probably one of the very few only people with that last name. And then in terms of what's coming up, I have a September 1st, I'm starting a new video challenge. That's a very quick and easy way to get engaged with my company and me. It's a month-long video challenge where you post a video every day, Monday through Friday, on a social media platform of your choosing. And we're in groups of 5 to 8 people, and we also comment on each other's videos every day. So your videos also are getting a boost, not just not just being forced to post every day, but you're also getting social media engagement out of it. And then we have a weekly check-in call to just make sure that you get your questions answered, and those people who do really well, I'll challenge them a little further, nudge them further down the road, or down the video marketing road. And then I have my vlogcast cohorts, which are also group experience, and that is to establish your thought leadership with video. So that is much more about establishing a workflow and systems, and showing you how to film yourself such that you can establish yourself and your thought leadership with video, in a consistent way. So much like a podcast, just that we're doing it with video, and we're being very, very structured about it, so that you have ways to consistently do it and not get sidelined by some technical oopalas.
Yeah.
And that also ends in a group experience. So definitely, for me, the most important thing is to make sure that people have a structure around their video marketing, so they don't fall off the video marketing horse, so to speak, and then sort of don't know how to climb back on. So we put a lot of checks and balances and support and accountability around video marketing.
You guys, this is so great, because as an author who is moving towards thought leadership, these videos that she helps you do are great links inside your book where people can find out more about you. So I would really highly consider working with someone like Nina to get that into place, so that you can put those links at the end of your chapters and give people extra consumption of you, because it's easy to read you in a book, but when they actually see you, it's a much more intimate experience. So
I agree.
Nina, thank you so much for being on today. It's been fabulous.
Well, thanks for having me. I always love talking about what I do. So always appreciate to have the opportunity to do so.